welcome everyone. We're not going to be starting yet because of a certain reason, but obviously I'm not going to state that on stream here. I'm just sorting out some invites right now, and we will be going underway pretty soon. It's going to be Belgium tonight, so my home track, quite nice. I always love to commentate on Belgium, obviously, because it's such a great race, it's such a great track, and all that kind of stuff. So make sure to stick around, grab some popcorn, grab some drinks, and we will be going underway pretty soon. Test. Welcome. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, guys. Here we are today in Belgium, as it is going to be a short qualifying and a 50% race here in the Divine Eye Racing League. Of course, I am VB Thomas, as a couple of you guys might know me already from Phoenix Racing League. But I'm going to be your commentator here for Div 2, hopefully for a long period of time. But that all depends on the owners, of course. Belgium, a very interesting track. You know, you've got turn 1, which is a little bit of a hair clip. You've got a uphill Radion et Eau Rouge, which is a very tricky corner session. Heading into sector 2, you've got turn 5, 6, 7, which is a left, right, left. And then you've got turn 8, which is that long right-hander. Going into turn 9, a fast left-hander. A little bit of a 90 degrees corner. Going into turn 10 and 11, you've got Pouhon, if I'm not mistaken, if that's the name. I think it is the name. Going into turn 12, 13, and 14, a right-left right-hander. Quite a long right-left right-hander. I would say it's around 5th, Ford maybe. Fourth gear, obviously, and then going into turn 15, where you've got that little, yes, sir, it is back, Thomas. Welcome, buddy. So turn 15, you've got that little house on the left side, which has been there since the first Grand Prix ever held, as it seems like my screen is glitching for some reason. Why is my... Hold up, guys. Ah, there we go. We are ready. So it seems like it's going to be raining here in Belgium for the qualifying. So a lot of guys have probably put their rainy setups on, but I'm not too sure how it is for VB. Hey, Thomas, welcome, buddy. How are you doing? Let's go on board with someone at the front of the grid, someone at the front of the track. That is going to be the Williams driver, Waza, probably, because he's going to be the first one to go through that turn 15. This is turn 12 where he's going into right now. And then we've got turn 13 and 14, and then turn 15 and 16. 16 is actually the fast right-hander. You might be able to see it on screen. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to switch over to this. There in the back, you will be able to see a house on the left side of your screen. There we go. There it is on the left side of the screen. And when you look up pictures from the Belgian Grand Prix, that house has been there since 1950, since the first Belgian Grand Prix ever in Formula 1. And yeah, that house is still there and they don't want to remove it, so that's always nice. But we do tend to see a lot of guys crash into that wall that is trying to protect the house. So that's a little fact there, as Waza is going to be starting his lap here. Looks wet out here, rather fitting it. You can catch me drift. Thomas, who are you? Where are you? What is your name on game? Well, in game. Waza takes a very interesting line going into turn 1 there. Kind of missed his braking point. As of course going into Megas. I'm always saying Megas and Megas here. Eau Rouge et Radion. You don't want to mess up really badly here. And he's not going to. Having a little bit of a snap coming out of turn 4 right there. Going into turn 5 right now. Sector 2, which is a very tricky one. Obviously, when it's raining, it's even more trickier. He wants to clip that curb on the exit as much as possible, and he does indeed as the fastest first sector, but I do think that a lot of guys are going to be improving. Coming into turn 8 right now. Long right-hander, as you can see. Very awkward line that a couple of guys are taking here. Me myself, I never know when to brake in that corner, and that's what a lot of guys are struggling with there in turn 8. And obviously going into Pouhon right now, turn 10 and 11, touching that curb on the entry is a little bit risky, but Waza is not afraid of the curb, as it seems like he clipped that really, really well right there. Going into turn 12, 13, and 14 right now, doesn't clip the curb on the entry. And doesn't clip the curb on the exit either. Into turn 15 right now. He should have taken that a little bit tighter. Does take a lot of curb on the exit. That's quite nice. Does take a little bit too much curb. They're almost got stuck on the curb. And when you're stuck on that curb, you're going to be shooting through. And then going into the wall, obviously. And that's where a lot of guys are usually mistaken here around Belgium. Belgium actually the longest circuit on the calendar in the F1 season. I think it's about 7 kilometers long, if I'm not mistaken. Which is actually the only track that has been there on the calendar with more than 7 kilometers. Fun fact, actually, every F1 track can only be 6.5 kilometers, but since Belgium has been there since 1950, they didn't want, well, they wanted to make an exception for a couple of tracks, such as Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps. Obviously, it has been extended till 2025, if I'm not mistaken, so we're going to be having 2 more races on the Belgian circuit. And obviously, my Belgian heart melts whenever I read that, well, when I read that news, because obviously such a beautiful track. And a lot of F1 guys do think that the Belgian Grand Prix is one of the nicest Grand Prix on the calendar. I mean, you can't go away from the fact that Silverstone is also a very nice track. Is there any other tracks? Brazil is a very nice track. You've got Monza. All the iconic ones are very, very nice. And they don't want to step away from that direction going into the future. But I think there has been some troubles with having Belgium as a Grand Prix simply due to our government. And that is going to be the case right there. But obviously, you never, as a Formula 1 fan, you never want to see these iconic races get deleted. Now, my buddy Chicken here, he's a good buddy of mine. He raced in another league that I was commentating for, and we played a couple of games together. So going into Rouge Radion right now, doesn't want to clip too many curbs, as obviously that's always going to be a risk. And going into your first fast lap, you want to take the track a little bit more smooth, just so that you don't crash out and haven't put a lap in yet. So he has the fast first sector right now, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, in another league that I was racing, that was commentating for, we had Waza, who was the main rival of Chicken and Blunts there. So that is going to be a very good, fairly rivalry ship here in Divine Eye Racing. Going into turn 9 right now, doesn't clip too much curb, as it seems like he's a little bit scared here on the intermediates. All the other guys on the wets. Backmarker is on the wets, but I'm not too sure if he's going to be improving by anything, because obviously all the other guys are on the intermediates, and there is one brave guy going onto the softs. That is going to be Exotic Scarf all the way in P19, as we've got a full grid tonight. That's obviously lovely to see here in Divine Eye Racing. This is going to be the social race before the actual season starts. So when a new year is done, when we're in the new year, when we're in 2024, we are going to be racing with a 6-race calendar. Quite of a short calendar, but the guys want to match up the calendar back again with Div 1 so that they all start at a certain date, at the same date. You know, otherwise, if we would take a 12 race season, we would be having 6 more races after Div 1 has finished theirs. Dusky is going to retire from the session, as Chicken and Blunts is going to come across the line to put a P3 of 155.8. Not bad at all, as Rain is going to put himself on pole for now, a 154.9, almost a second faster than Chicken and Blunts right there. Thank you very much, Adams. Really appreciate it, buddy. Let's go on board with F1 Dino here, the intermediate tire runner, currently in P20, and he's going to be starting his fast lap, as he is currently weaving coming into turn 18 and 19. As obviously, you as a racing driver, you're always going to wanting to warm up your tires, but as a F1 racing driver on the F1 game, weaving is not the right way on how to... There goes the Ferrari driver. That is really, really close right there. That might have been Mookie. And there goes the Haas driver into the wall. Probably has a broken front wing right there. Did he get caught off guard by the Ferrari driver, who's sliding all over the place going into turn 1 right there? I think it's getting a little bit wetter out here, and the guys might have to switch onto the wet tires, because in Belgium it can get quite tricky with the weather. I can say that myself, obviously, because I've lived in Belgium for more than 20 years of my life. So rain stops in 8 minutes, and there's 10 minutes left, so I'm in pits on softs waiting until there's 3 or 4 minutes left. That is a very interesting ID. Thank you for letting me know. Kyle, something like that. Oh, Talk puts himself on pole right now as he came across the line, but I didn't get a message, so I think the lobby is glitched once again, or it's of course the game. It's always the game. Always the F1 game. It's a little bit brokey, but it is what it is. The Alfa Romeo driver does have to watch out for the guy right behind him, as he's got that Mercedes driver right behind him. Let's have a quick look who that is. It's either Scottish or it's either just Steps, and I think Scottish is currently stuck behind that Red Bull driver in Sector 2. And Steps is the one right behind the Alfa Romeo driver. The last one was right, yes. Kiel? Was that the one? I have no idea. I can't even remember what I said. uh, June coming around, turn 15 and 16 right now. That beautiful house always gives me, you know, a little anecdote here, guys. So I had my first league race ever because I've been exotic scarf. I'm not good, but we'll see. All right, amazing, buddy. Thank you for letting me know. So a little anecdote. I was a racing driver myself once in a far, far, far past, and I was pretty all right. So I've done. I had my first league race on Belgium. I had done a lot of practice into the look, another pole, but it doesn't say that he's on pole on my screen. Beautiful lap from the steps right there. And I was correct, actually, with the Mercedes driver being behind the Alfa Romeo driver right there. But back to the anecdote. So what I was saying, I had done a lot of practice on this track. I qualified in P1, right? So I was on pole. I raced. I got overtaken in lap 1. In lap 2, I wanted to make the overtake again. And I had the downforce, but like I had really bad downforce. And I had a lot of dirty air. So going into turn 15, I already felt like I was struggling. Then into turn 16, I spun. Well, I had too much understeer and I spun. Well, not really spun. I just went into that wall and I did 10 barrel rolls and I don't know what I did, but the guys clipped it. It was gold. It was gold footage, but the problem was it was my first ever league race and I had done so much practice. And since then, I'm very frustrated with that corner. So whenever you're going to be seeing someone spinning into that wall, I'm going to be laughing at them very, very badly. Just because I've been there too. All right, let's go on board with a backmarker hero. He's on the wet tires, it says, but actually he's on the intermediate tires. So it seems like the game is glitching out a little bit here. Obviously, we don't want that to be, but what can we do about it, of course? Design the game ourselves. It's not going to happen. Backmarker currently coming into turn 9 as he wants to clip that curb on the exit, and he does that beautifully. And is he going to be improving here in Sector 2? Hasn't put a lap in on the qualifying yet, during the qualifying yet, as it seems like it's not drying up pretty soon. Although the track seems to be a little bit of a dry line already, as you can see. Backmarker following that line pretty nicely there. And usually that line is the line that everybody uses. But also these guys are having some kind of help line. Like they've got that line on their track. Well, usually a couple of guys. I know that Tusky Beard doesn't have that line, or at least he's trying to not use that line, just so that he can know where he needs to brake on track and all that kind of stuff. As Scottish is going to put himself on pole right now, 151.7. So it's definitely getting faster out there. Backmarker now coming around turn 19 to put a qualifying lap on the board. And I really wonder what his time is going to be. It is going to be a P2, 154.0. So Scottish might be a little too fast for this grid, as he is about 2.3 seconds faster than all the other guys. Actually, then P2, then P3, then P4. I'm going in 2 minutes. I should go on the inters, but I like the risk. There we go. That's what we love to see. Ooh, backmarker cutting all the corners. Not too sure if that is allowed, but he wants to get back into the pits as soon as possible to go on a new set of intermediates. Exotic Scarf is going to be on the soft tires, but is it going to be enough to go onto the soft tires? It seems like Scottish has put his lap on the intermediate tires, so that might give a great sign? Is it a sign? A great sign to the guys that the intermediates are still pretty fast. Let's go on board with someone else here. Might be Mookie, who crashed out in turn 1 earlier this race. This qualifying. Coming through the Camel Straight right now, as the guys usually will be able to use DRS during the race, but obviously because it's raining, they won't be able to use any DRS right now. They will be able to use ERS, and I think with the rainy weather, you might be able to use a little bit more ERS. But I mean, ooh, he's going way too wide right there. Might have lost a couple of tenths. But during the rain, you're going to be braking harder. You're going to regen a little bit more ERS, and that's where you're going to gain a little bit more speed down the straights, but obviously you're losing a lot of speed throughout the corners. Not necessarily because of you using ERS, but just because it's raining, you know. And he's going too wide right there, and he invalidates his lap. He's got to be happy with a 158.8, as that is the only time he's going to be able to put out. Although he might be pushing to get across the line still and put another lap in. Don't think he has enough time to come back into the pits and try to go for a new set of intermediates, as a lap takes about 2 minutes here around Belgium. It is going to be a short qualifying and a 50% race. We're already within 15 minutes of that short qualifying, as usually a short qualifying takes 18 minutes. We're currently only 3 minutes away from the end of that qualifying. Let's go on board with another driver here, a well-known driver in the comms box. That is going to be Joby. He's going to go a little bit too wide. Not too sure what he's doing here. Maybe he's trying to cut some corners to get back into the pits to go on a new... I think he's trying to make it in time across the line. And he's pushing a little bit too much. I think he just has to focus to keep his car on track. I don't think he will be able to get there, though. There's only 30 more seconds to go. 13 more seconds to go. Oh, no, never mind. He's going to make that easily. Because here's the thing. Once they come across the line, it just cannot be zero. Like, if they still have 30 seconds left. Loses the car, but recovers quite nicely there, as he might want to go for another lap here. All right, coming into turn 18 and 19. Here comes... Oh, he's coming back into the pits. Why the push? Why the push, Joby? Let's go on board with Jesper van Golde, as he's currently in P7. And he's going to try and go for another lap here, but not too sure. I'm trying to think what Joby was thinking. Like, he cannot come into the pits, go on to another set of intermediates there. The Williams driver, or is that Alpine driver trying to make some way for the Red Bull driver, as it is going to be Jesper coming back into the pits. Is Joby coming back out of the pits? Doesn't look like it. Jesper is coming back into the pits. It's some interesting strategies here, guys. I'm not too sure why these guys are coming back into the pits, because they won't be able to go back out. Interesting. Oh, we might want to have a quick look with Exotic Scarf here, as he's gone on to the intermediates. Wait, did he go on to the intermediates? Or did he go on to the softs? Because it says intermediates on the car, but it says softs on the table. As it is going to be the Aston Martin currently in Sector 2. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water here, guys. He also invalidated, so I don't think he will be able to gain some time. I don't think he will be making it on time across the line. 3 more seconds. His qualifying is over already. And he hasn't put a lap on the board. Neither did his teammate, who's currently still in the pit lane. F1 Dino still on a fast lap, and he seems to be on the soft tires right now. Coming into Sector 2, he's got the fastest first sector, and what a beautiful strategy from F1 Dino. He's definitely going to be able to put it on pole if he can keep it together here. Currently coming into turn 8 right now, long right-hander. And obviously, being on those soft tires, you're going to have more grip coming through that corner. Takes a lot of grip on the entry there, and also on the exit. Beautifully done by the Haas driver coming into Cop's corner. No, Pujol. Did I say Cop's corner before? I don't think I did. Did I? Cops? No, I said Pujol. Pretty sure I said Pujol. Coming into turn 12, 13, 14 right now. I said a 115.2, but invalidated last time. A 115.2. I don't think that's possible around Belgium. EA problems for me, Andrew. No problem. Is that AP? Andrew? Is that AP or is that someone else? Andrew Houston. Oh, wait, that might be... No, that might not be P15. Well, if anyone needs an invite, just send me a friend request, Phoebe Thomas, only one S, and I will be able to invite you back into the game. F1 Demo coming across the line to put a 146.8. Talk is the other Haas driver who has put it in P2. And AWH Smith currently in P2, a 147.2. A little bit too much of a push by Dino right there as he put it on pole. Although Ray coming across the line right now, 146.6. Beautiful lap there from the Alfa Romeo driver. And I don't think anyone is going to be able to improve right there. So the Steps is actually the most recent member here in the league, as he just joined a couple of minutes ago. 146.4 for the Czech driver, Rain in P2 and Dino in P3. Further, we've got AWH, Talk, Chicken, Backmarker, Younes, Waza, Ishi, Scottish, who actually put a pretty good qualifying... One second, guys, my girlfriend is calling me. She called me twice, so it's quite important then. All right, guys, my apologies. Apparently, there was a guy walking behind her. She didn't feel too comfortable. All right, so here we are. No. All right. Well, typical Belgian weather, which I definitely didn't miss. It's going to be pouring out here, probably wet tires for a lot of guys. I'm not too sure what actually the strategy would be starting on the wet tires. If there's no change in weather, would you go to wet tires or would you just stay on those wet tires for the whole race? Because I know a soft medium works around Belgium. I know it works. So a no stopper on the wet tires might work too. But I'm not 100% sure. But as I said before, you know, Belgium, a very famous track, has been there since 1950. And we're going to be having a formation lap right now. 2 wets apparently is what Thomas says in the chat. So Tom is currently in P5, obviously, as it seems like my game is lagging a little bit there. My apologies. It's because of all the rain. You know, the storm, the rainy storms. I'm just trying to connect my phone to my TV because I'm watching the darts at the same time because there's a Belgian guy playing and he's currently playing 2-2. And he's 2-0 up in sets, so that's always nice to see. Let's have a quick look with the lap data here real quick. All the guys are on wet tires, I'd assume, because it's pouring out there. And yes, indeed, they are. So it's going to be a very, very, very chaotic turn 1. I think we're going to be having Hungary 2.0. You guys remember Hungary from 2021? Not too sure why my screen is lagging that much, guys. My apologies. There we go. Mookie got disqualified from the session. Yeah, I can't stream like this. I don't know what's up with my PlayStation right now. All right, let's read the chat real quick. EA problems. I claim, don't worry, I should be like 6th or 7th. Damn, that last. Dino says, oh no. Keel. Is it Keel? Is it Kyle? Is it Keel? Keely? Keely. It might be Keely. I think the Keely is the last one I said last time. 152.5, that is not too bad. And then we have Thomas saying it's going to be 2 wets. Of course, we have to wait for the rain schedule at the end of the race, obviously. But I really wonder whether these guys are going to be... I'm just going to fix to this, I think, because I'm not too sure what's up right now. But my PlayStation don't want to run today. As the Belgian guy seems to have won. Nice. Oh my god, I get frustrated by this. Alright guys, I'm gonna be restarting my game real quick. Can I actually restart my game? I don't think it's my game, I think it's the lobby actually. Well, we'll catch the race start, and then I'll restart my game because this is not nice for you guys. So we're gonna be having 22 laps around Belgium here, as the two Aston Martins coming around the last corner right now. Ishii has been disqualified from the session. Steps is gonna be leading the race as we've got 5 red lights tonight here in Spa-Francorchamps in the Divine Eye Racing League. It is gonna be the Div 2 division, but it's only going to be a social race. So here we go. A lot of guys on the grid right now. 20 people on the grid. It's going to be 5 red lights. And away we go. We've got a pretty decent start there from the steps, but I think Rain is going to be making that overtake already. A pretty bad start, actually, from the steps right there. Gets overtaken by 3 people already. AWH around the outside as Rain gets overtaken by Dino, who throws it down the inside. A little bit of chaos there into turn 1. A lot of... Oh, this is not nice. All right, here we go. AWH trying to make a move around the outside of the other Haas driver as the room makes the move right there, gets the slipstream as it is going to be a yellow flag. So I'm just gonna restart real quick, real quick. Alrighty, guys. My apologies, but we didn't miss too much. It was going to be a full safety car, so we're out here racing again. Currently in lap 2 out of the 22, and usually a safety car around Belgium takes quite some time. Let's go on board with the position changes, as it seems like we've missed quite a couple of position changes right there. Dino, who bumped up to P1, he's leading the race as of this point. And Raze is currently in P2, AWH, Smith in P3, Talk in P4, a backmarker in P5. He gained 2 positions, not too bad at all. And our biggest winner is going to be Tutsky Beard, who went from P18 all the way to P9. Chicken is our biggest loser. He went from P6 to P18. And he lost 12 positions right there. We've got 1 penalty already for Ishii, as that is probably going to be a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane or causing a collision. As it seems like my issues are currently kind of gone. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like it's lagging a little bit less there. It's still lagging though, but I don't think it has anything to do with my setup. Safety car right now. We're currently waiting for that safety car to come in again. Waza gets a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Scottish, as that is going to be a very, very annoying penalty for the Williams driver. Lets a lot of guys go through. Not too sure what for, as I think he might have tapped out someone, and he makes that overtake again. Tutsky, the owner of the league, together with Divine Eye, obviously. Divine Eye not in the lobby today. He decided to not be racing. And I'm not too sure why my screen is lagging that much. Annoying. Oh, this is awful, guys. Talk almost going into the back of AWH right there. And you know, Belgium, a very interesting track. Obviously, these guys have all raced with each other already. A couple of guys have, a couple of guys haven't. Let's have a quick scroll through the guys that I know already, through the guys that I don't know yet. We've got a Dino that I do know from Overtake Racing League. We've got Rain, who is a new guy to my knowledge. And we've got AWH, who I think is quite familiar. I've seen him already, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Backmarker, I've seen in Power Grid Racing. We have got Scottish, who I haven't seen yet. Jesper is a new guy to me too. We've got Waza, who's obviously a very famous guy in the Formula 1 world. Mr. Waza. Tutsky is the owner of the league. Mookie is an admin of the league. We've got AP, who's raced in Phoenix. We've got The Steps, who is a new driver, but he's a friend of F1 Dino, who's currently in P1. We've got Exotic Scarf. Oh, that's a tongue twister. Who is fairly new to the league. I think he joined a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago. Ishii currently in P14. He raced in Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken. Shermanator 2. Chicken raced in Power Grid Racing. And then we've got Oranje Boom, Joby, who raced in Phoenix. Mookie retired from the session already. I think he crashed out. Not too sure what happened there, but he's going to be parked in the wall somewhere. Probably clipped the curb, and that was going to be raised over for the Ferrari driver. So he's going to be all the way in P19. Joby also DNF'd, as that is not going to be the race he has been looking for. Safety car coming in this lap, as we're going to be racing pretty soon. Green flags all over the place, but the guys have to wait for the safety car to come into the pits. Dino is already going to leave some space to the safety car right now, as both Haas drivers not doing a bad job here. Mookie has left the session, as Dino and Talk, both Haas drivers being in P1 and P4 right now, as that is going to be a combination of, let me have a quick think, because the winner actually gets 30 points and P20 gets 1 point. The league owners decided to keep a certain point system that allows everyone to get points. So here we go, Dino coming around the last corner right now, as he's got that Alfa Romeo already next to him. I don't think that is allowed. Dino, oh, loses it. He almost lost it, as he's going to be losing a position to both his teammate and Rain right there, as Rain is now getting overtaken by Smith, Dino, and Talk. As there goes Dino, he gets overtaken by Backmarker, who tapped his rear. Backmarker getting a 5-second time penalty for that. Those Scottish right now up into P3. Rain, we've got him in P4, as he's going to be right on the tail of the Mercedes driver right now. Scottish trying to make the overtake on Backmarker, and he's going to be able to down the inside with a little bit of use of the ERS right there. Backmarker is now getting chased from behind by Rain. Good straight line speed from Rain can help him. And it's definitely going to rain down the inside right now into turn 5 and 6 as backmarker almost takes out the Alfa Romeo driver, but leaves enough space to let him go through. We've now got Jesper right on the tail of backmarker right there. Backmarker with that 5-second time penalty right there. The AWH trying to make a move down the inside. It's not quite working yet, although he does. He does. Beautiful move there from the AlphaTauri driver, and his next target is going to be backmarker Tutski making his way up into P7 around the outside of Waza right there. Waza is not giving up, although he's got the steps right behind him. The steps who's lost 8 positions since his pole qualifying right there. Tutski going a little bit too deep. Waza is being pressured from behind, but he also tries to make that overtake on Tutski right there. There's another guy going very, very wide right there. I think that must have been a Scottish Scarf or Ishii. Although, is it someone else? It's probably Ishii. I'm not 100% sure, though. Let's go back to the front of the grid as we've got a 3:10 difference between Scottish and Talk. Scottish having a good straight line speed setup here, going around the outside. Talk not leaving too much breathing space, but right enough for Scottish to make the overtake on the Haas driver. Talk almost lost it though. Had a little bit of a snap coming through that turn 17 right there, going into turn 18 and 19. Both drivers going a little bit too wide as Joby has left the session right now. My apologies for the bad quality on the stream, by the way. AWH right now making the overtake on the Alpine driver. Beautifully done right there. Scottish with a 2 minute 2 second fast lap, as it is gonna be. Oh, apparently it's not on stream that it is lagging. Or is it? Oh no, it is. Never mind. Waza 3-second time penalty right now. A lot of guys with a penalty already. Let's have a quick look who has a penalty already. A 5-second time penalty for backmarker, an 8-second time penalty for Waza, and a 5-second time penalty for Ishii right there. Rain who makes the overtake on Talk down the inside, down the Camel straight, as that is going to be moved on. Talk might be able to make a switchback work with a good line coming through turn 6, but he's not going to be able to. He's going a little bit too deep, and that is going to be a lot of time lost to the toe of the Alfa Romeo driver right there. He's outside the 1 second right now, so he's not going to get the toe down the main straight. Tutski is making his way up into P6 as he's almost looking to make a move up into P5. Sticking to the toe of the back marker right now. Well, the back marker is his name, obviously, as that is my good buddy Divi Burrito, if I'm not mistaken. His name is Divi Burrito. But he's a friend of Chicken who's made his way up into P10 already, as he's going a little bit too wide right there. He's got that Red Bull driver who also went a little bit too wide. Waza making a move on Jesper van Golde too. And Chicken makes up another position, goes a little bit too deep into turn 12 right there, as we've got another yellow flag. That is another Aston Martin, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that another one of those guys going really, really slow, possibly having an incident with each other, Ishii and Oranjeboom Brown, as they're currently driving right behind each other. Let's go back to Talk, who's having a heated battle. Also Steps making his way up into P7. Beautiful move on a Shermanator right there. Talk getting a 3-second time penalty, as that is going to be his first penalty of the evening. There's many more to come for the Dutch driver, as AWH actually caught up to the Dutch driver right there. Talk weaving all over the place to let me know that he doesn't agree with anything I'm saying. I know you, Talk. I know you, Talk. A lot of moves to be made here at the back of the grid. Exotic Scarf making his way up into P12. Waza making a move down the inside. Exotic Scarf not leaving too much breathing room for the Williams driver right there. The Red Bull driver trying to make a move down the inside, but he backs out of it. He now is going to try and catch that slipstream. He definitely shouldn't go side by side into Eau Rouge et Radion, as it seems like AWH makes his way up into P2. Here we go. Jesper right on the tail of Waza. He's sniffing that butt, and he can make that move. Down the inside he goes, and Jesper, is he going to make a dive bomb work? It does look like it. Breaks really, really late and catches the Williams driver off guard. Waza trying to make a switchback work around the outside. He's having the inside line right now. Almost goes into the back of the Red Bull driver. Pushes him a little bit wide, and they collide. But there's no damage, no real contact between the two, and they made it out alive. But it was really, really close. Waza still trying to go down the inside into turn 9. He's making up that position. Before turn 9 was there was no room for the Red Bull driver to make the move right there. as Exotic Scarf is now trying to benefit. You know, when two dogs are fighting for the bone, the third dog is running away with it, and I think that's what Exotic Scarf is trying to do right now. He sees those two in front of him battle really, really heavily right there, and he wants to benefit from that, as it seems like the back marker made his way past the Mercedes driver right there, as I think he was in P9. He was not in P9, he was in P8 if I'm not mistaken. Or the steps just tries to make his way around the Alpine driver, and yes indeed he does. Here comes Shermanator. No, it's the steps first. It's the steps first. Shermanator has got his hands full with chicken and blunts, obviously. There goes the steps. And he makes that move before turn 18 is there. And I think we're going to be seeing a very, very interesting battle between Chicken and a back marker, as it seems like Steps and... no, it's Dusky Beard who's coming into the pits, and some other guys are also coming into the pits. Rain is coming into the pits. Talk is coming into the pits. And are they going on to the intermediate tires, or are they going on to the wet tires? I would say the intermediate tires, and yes, they do. Is it time already? The only way on how we can see that is by the leader tap, and a lot of guys are actually coming into the pits. Also Chicken and Blunts, also Shermanator, also a back marker who I think got caught in a... Although, is there another Alpine driver? Where's the other Alpine driver? Oh, it's Ishii. Never mind. Back marker drops back to P11 as he gets overtaken by F1 Dino right there. Let's have a quick look at what tire Dino is running. He's running those intermediates, but he has gone onto those intermediates 2 laps ago, and he's been overtaken by so many people right now. He lost quite a few positions right there. Steps went on to 5-lap-old intermediates, and Joby crying in the chat. Sorry to hear that, buddy. I saw you crash. Well, I didn't see you crash, but I saw that you crashed. I'm sorry to tell you, buddy. Let's go on board with, obviously, who didn't come into the pits yet. Who didn't come into the pits yet? The Steps? Did he come into the pits? I don't think he did. So let's compare Talk's time to the Steps time. Or maybe Talk's time to anyone else's time, because I don't think the top 3 is running... The top 2 isn't running intermediate, so we might want to compare the P1 with Talk, as Talk making that move on the Red Bull driver right there, and he made it look very, very easy. So I think the intermediates are still better than the wet tires. Well, are better than the wet tires. I've put in chat nobody's fault. All right, Joby, thank you very much, buddy, for letting that know, because obviously I didn't know if someone crashed you out or not. AWH coming into the pits, so is Scotty. Scottish, I'm gonna call him Scotty the whole season, I swear. Steps having the fastest lap of 156.7, so he's definitely catching up to a lot of other guys. And he actually went for a very interesting strategy. He came to the pits to go onto those intermediate tires whenever the safety car was there, and now he has so big of a lead. I think it's more than 15 seconds. At least you get to start. Andrew. Are you Andrew? Are you AP? I think you are, right? I think you are. We've got a heavy battle here between 2 drivers. It is going to be Scottish and Mr. Talk. We're going to be battling for P2. Obviously, Talk having that penalty. So Scottish is going to make easy work out of it. And now Talk is trying to trail back from P3 up into P2. But it's not going to be as easy as it looks. Currently coming into Sector 2, into Turn 8. And he has to throw it down the inside, but he's not going to. He was not close enough to make that move. But he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. There goes Talk. And he makes up that position into P2. Beautifully done by Talk there. And I think a lot of these guys are quite risky making their moves into turn 8. I would never dare to go in down the inside in turn 8. But a lot of guys decide to do so. We've seen Waza do it a couple of times, and also now Talk tries to do it down the inside there. So beautifully done by Talk, and if it works, it works. If it works, it works. You know, if it works, you're always right. But if it doesn't work, you're the biggest loser of the evening. But I mean, it is what it is, right? So we're going to be having a very, very feisty battle between Talk, Scottish, and maybe Tusky Beard if he can catch up to these two. I know that Tusky Beard is one of the faster guys here in this league. And obviously, the owner always wants to... You know, the fastest guy always wants to own an own league to create some kind of competition for himself. But Yeah. Rain right now, very close to Shermanator as he's trying to make a move around the outside. He's having the inside line right now. He pushes the Williams driver a little bit right there, and they're going into the wall. They're going into the wall. Do they have front wing damage? I wouldn't say so. I'm not seeing any visual damage as Chicken and Blunts is trying to snoop away that position. It's not going to be working there, although with a good exit, and he is having a good exit. Let's have a quick look with Chicken here. He's not going for it, and he's going to be that third dog running away with the bone, guys. I think he is trying to benefit from mistakes from other guys. That's how you should win your races, and that's how you race very smart. Smith making a move up into P4, making a move past Dutski Beard. That's quite interesting. I don't think Dutski Beard has the right setup then, because, I mean, as I said already, he's quite of a fast driver, so I wouldn't expect him to get overtaken. Chicken and Blunts now trying to get past Shermanator as soon as possible. And I heard Chicken and Blunts say that, you know, he was a little bit worried about the mixed pace grid, but it seems like he's finding his way around the grid quite well. You know, currently in P8, somewhere in the middle of the grid, and he got crashed out quite early, or he crashed out himself. I'm not too sure what happened there, but he made his way up into P8 again, and he's now battling P7 and P6, and I think Rain is quite of a fast driver. Shermanator is able to keep up with him, but I'm not sure for how long that is going to take, because if Chicken and Blunts can get past Shermanator, I don't think Shermanator will keep up with Chicken and Blunts for too long. Chicken and Blunts, who goes a little bit too deep there, might have caught a little bit of a warning there, as he's searching all of those track limits to try and gain some time. Backmarker with another 3-second time penalty, as the steps currently in P1 with a 9-second gap, an 8-second gap. All the other guys behind him are definitely gaining time, but I think the steps is going to go into the pits for another set of intermediates later this race. And now we've got Rain trying to defend from Shermanator. I really wonder when the DRS is going to be opening up, if it's going to be opening up. I don't see it rain very, very heavily anymore, so the track might be drying up pretty fast here. And here comes Chicken and Blunts with a good exit, but it doesn't look like it touches too much curb on the exit there. We might want to focus on someone else here, although there's no one else currently battling with each other. We've got Shermanator pretty close to Rain on the tail of the Alfa Romeo driver down the Camel Straight right now. It's not going to be enough. If he uses some ERS, he might have been able to make that overtake, but he decides to not go for it into turn 5 right now, and there's no risk to be taken, you know. Chicken and Blunts, who loses the toe of the Williams driver, it doesn't look like he can keep up with Shermanator right now. He's done a great job trying to get that toe, but it's good enough for him. He has given it up. He doesn't want to take many risks, and I wouldn't if I were him. You know, you would get a great amount of points. I think P1 gets 30, P2 gets 25, P3 gets 22, P4 gets 20. I think it's something like that. But yeah, I mean, we've got a very interesting battle here between two teammates. Backmarker currently in P15, as it is going to be Ishii in P14. Both drivers teammates of each other, so I really wonder if there's going to be any team plays coming into play during the regular season. It's only 6 races, so a lot of points to be grabbed. Well, not many points to be grabbed, so all positions are very valuable for these guys. You know, a P6 or a P7 could mean a lot of positions in the Drivers' Championship. Whenever you would get a P6 or a P7 in an actual race, though. I think that would change about 5 to 10 points. So that could be very costly during an actual race. So are these guys going to be giving positions to each other? I'm not 100% sure, but it does look like Backmarker is currently stuck behind Ishii. And I think they might have a chance of having equal penalties right there, because Ishii got a penalty quite early during the race, but he has served that already in the pit lane, and so did Backmarker, it seems like. So both drivers having 3 seconds of time penalties, and I think they have to work together with each other to get back to Waza right now, although 14 seconds behind. I think it's going to be a tough challenge. And Backmarker, who might have crashed out. I'm not too sure what happened to him. And it seems like Dino is coming into the pits to go on to the medium tires. Yo, Divine Eye, how are you doing, buddy? Taking a quick sip of water right there. Waza now on the tail of Dino. Dino is the first one to go onto the slick tires. And let's have a quick look if it's paying off. Doesn't look like it was. Trying to make his way around Dino already. But it doesn't look like Dino is struggling that much. I think we're in the crossover between the intermediate tires and the slick tires. And it's still a big question whether these medium tires are going to be lasting till the end of the race. I would say so. Usually around Belgium, you can run a soft medium strategy. So if you come halfway into the race, into the pits, you will be going on to the medium tires, obviously, to finish off that race. And look at that pace difference from Dino and Waza. Dino definitely has the pace here on the slick tires. So all of the guys who are listening to me right now, it's time to come into the pits and go on to the intermediate or the hard tires. Look at how Waza is struggling and how much time he's losing coming into sector 3 right there. All the guys coming into the pits. Scottish is the only one staying out here in P1 right now. And it seems like the steps goes on to the hard tires. Talk goes on to the medium tires. I know he quite likes the risky strategy there. Is he going for it? He might be able to go for the softs though. No, he's going on to the medium tires. AWH goes on to the hard tires. What is Rain going on? Dusky going on to the medium tires. Rain going on to the medium tires. It is Dino who is on the medium tires. And is he going to be gaining a couple of positions back on these guys? It does not look like it. Dino only gains a position to Younes. Also one to Chicken and Blunt, so not too bad right there. I think they might be very close with each other. Chicken and Blunt's now coming out of the pit lane. But of course, Dino's tires have already warmed up, and Chicken and Blunt's tires are still 70 degrees out here in Belgium. So he's going to be struggling coming through Eau Rouge Radion. Here comes Dino down the main straight with the use of ERS. Is he going to be able to make that move? I'm not too sure if he can catch the slipstream. He is the DRS already. The DRS is already wide open for Dino. Around the outside he goes and he makes that move around the outside of Chicken and Blunt's. Beautiful move right there from Dino. And I think Chicken and Blunt's is definitely going to be able to keep up with the pace of Dino here, although he's struggling. He's struggling a little bit. It's a little bit of an adaptation for the AlphaTauri driver right now to switch from intermediate tires to the slick tires. Obviously, a lot of guys currently on the medium tires, and I would say the guys who are currently on the medium tires are having the benefit of the tire, because obviously those hard tires will be lasting very, very long, but they're not the fastest tire on the grid. Chicken and Blunt struggling to keep up with the pace of Dino, but Dino is actually bringing him a little bit closer to Shermanator, because he's almost within 1 second of the Williams driver right now. I'm talking about Dino right there. And obviously that would be great to have the DRS down the Camel Straight. There's only 2 DRS straights. One very short one coming out of turn 19 into the start-finish straight. And then we've got, of course, Camel Straight going into sector 2 coming out of Eau Rouge et Radion. Exotic Scarf getting a 3-second time penalty right there. He's only in P7, which is not too bad, but he still has to come into the pits. Scottish coming back into the pits. I wonder what tire he is going on. He doesn't think the medium tires are the right tire to go on right now. As that's a very interesting. Oh no, he went onto the. Oh yeah, he went onto the medium tires. He came back into the pits. As it seems like it's raining again, so do the guys have to go onto the intermediate tires again? Exotic Scarf going onto the soft tires right now. Very interesting strategy, but I do think it will pay off. Lap 13 out of the 22 right now, and you know the wet track is always kind of making it easier for your tires to not wear out, if that makes sense. Backmarker making a move on Oranje Boom, who's just come into the pits. Oranje is still on those intermediate tires, and I think he underestimated his strategy right there. He came into the pits overestimated and underestimated, not 100% sure, but he made a mistake with his strategy, went onto the intermediate tires, and he's been on those intermediate tires for 3 laps, coming to the pits, and goes on to a medium tire. So let's go back to the front of the grid here. You might want to focus on F1 Dino here, as he's still trying to catch up to the Williams driver right now. And Chicken just hanging there. Hang on tight, Mr. Chicken. You will be able to keep up with F1 Dino, and then hopefully make the move on Shermanator, as there's someone who's crashed. Crashed! Mr. Inconsistent crashed once again in turn 16, and that was the turn that I was saying that you have to watch out for. I think he's possibly got a broken front wing. He's making it difficult for Shermanator to get past him. And now F1 Dino is possibly going to make the overtake on a Talk 2. And then we're going to be having a 4-way battle for P6. Although Talk does have a penalty right there. Does Talk have a front wing damage? Does look like it. He's coming back into the pits. And Dino has caught up to Shermanator within 1 second. Does he have the DRS? That is a good question. Doesn't look like it. Talk getting a 5-second time penalty, and he's going to be retiring from the session right there. Definitely not happy with his performance. He was in the top 3 or the top 4, and he just blew it all away. Like he does usually, though. I do have to say that. In Phoenix, he was also not very consistent. But all props to him. He's a great driver. He's a very fast driver, and I wish him all the best in the new season, in the first season of Divine Eye Racing League, well, Division 2, obviously. Let's go on board with Rain as he's having a heated battle with Tutski, as it seems like top 3. There we go. He was top 3 apparently. Rain trying to keep up with Tutski here. I don't usually anymore, to be honest. You don't, Thomas. In Phoenix, you were very inconsistent. I'm just unlucky. Well, you crashed out yourself, didn't you? Right now. It's alright, buddy. Even legends make mistakes. Shermanator getting a 3-second time penalty, as that is going to be very feisty, actually, because Dino doesn't have a single penalty. Chicken does have a penalty, so I mean, Chicken, he can be happy with that penalty of Shermanator, because otherwise he had no chance of getting into that top 6. And now he has a very slight chance, maybe able to get into the top 7. But he'll have to push a little bit more to get into that DRS detection of Dino right there. As it seems like the top 2 are having a heated battle. Both Mercedes drivers, Scottish and the Steps. The Steps being on those hard tires here. He's going to get eaten by Mr. Scottish. Good evening, Mike. How are you doing? Is that DRL Mike? Or is that not DRL Mike? Good question. We've got a yellow flag. Virtual safety car for now, but is the actual safety car coming out on track? Doesn't look like it. Who crashed out? I think it might be AP. It is not AP. Someone has crashed out, but I can't... Oh, it's the Red Bull. He's coming into the pits. That is going to be a Jesper, as he is on 2-lap-old medium tires. But if he has a broken front wing, he's got to come into the pits to switch. Oh, Brass Monkeys. All right, Brass Monkeys. How are you doing, buddy? And look at this Mercedes combination. Both drivers currently in P1 and P2, so they're going to be scoring a lot of points for the Mercedes team. Let's go on board with... Well, we're staying on board with these guys. Drive-through penalty for Oranje Boom Bruin, and I think someone else had a drive-through penalty. We might want to have a quick look with the penalties right there. A drive-through penalty for Younes, a drive-through penalty for Exotic Scarf, a drive-through penalty for Ishi, and a drive-through penalty for Oranje Boom Bruin. Scottish making that move on Steps, as I think Steps acknowledged that Scottish was on the faster tire right there. So, beautifully done by Scottish, as we might want to focus on someone else here, because I don't think that Steps will be getting that position back on the Mercedes driver, on his teammate. And Reigns still on the tail of Dutski right there. 3 tenths behind the Dutch driver. As obviously the Dutch driver, he's well known to drive in that Ferrari car. I think he likes Ferrari. I think he likes Ferrari. Although he's Dutch, so he should like... Oh, Younes retiring from the session, and that is a full safety car. Full safety car situation. So is anyone coming into the pits? Great question. A lot of guys have already missed the pit lane. I think that Exotic Scarf is going to come back into the pits. But he's got that drive-through penalty, and he cannot serve it under the safety car. So he's going to come into the pits to go onto the soft tires possibly. 6 more laps to go for a lot of guys out on track here. He's going onto the medium tires. Very interesting. Is anyone else coming into the pits? Backmarker is... He's got that 3-second time penalty, but if he can go onto the soft tires right now, he will be looking very great, obviously, because we're all going to be... Oh, he's going onto the medium tires. Ah, that's even more interesting. That's even more interesting if you ask me. The Belgian Grand Prix right there, as you can see. And I wonder who is the main sponsor of the Belgian Grand Prix? Is it MSC? Which is a boat company. Well, a boat company. Transport through boats. Marine. No, is it Marine? It's not Marine. It's... I can't quite... I can't quite remember the name, actually. Blue Dark is also coming into the pits. Oranjeboom and Ishii are staying out. Interesting strategy. I don't think they have any chance of getting into the top 10 anyway. Due to that drive-through penalty. Blue Dark coming out again. Let's go on board with the rain here. But also, let's have a quick look with the position changes. A lot of guys coming into the pits right now. Tutski gaining the most positions. Also, Scottish having a pretty decent race here. Coming from P11 back into P1. The race lead as he's not coming into the pits. He's letting his teammate have that. What is it called? That pit stop. Because obviously, otherwise they would have double stacked. But then, still, I think that somehow the steps should have created some kind of gap. Or did he already come into the pits? No, he stayed out on those medium tires. What did he do that for? Why did he do that? What is this Wi-Fi connection? Sorry guys, this is not my mistake, by the way. I'm not too sure what's up with my PlayStation right now. But from the 14th of January, it's all gonna be fixed. Anyways, love the commentary as always. Love you to love you have to go back. Gotta go now. No worries. Love to have you. Oh, love to have you back. Oh yeah, no worries, Thomas. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. When is the new season actually starting? I don't think I will be there for the first Grand Prix. This is never gonna be happening when I'm back home, by the way, guys. I'm currently in Dublin, and I swear to God, Dublin is such... I don't think anyone behind me would, as they were on Hearts. Ah, Scottish, that's very... Ah, that's very unfortunate. I mean, everyone is gonna come into the pits to go onto soft tires. It's usually like that. By the way, a little bit of a tip. I don't think you're allowed to chat during the race, but I'm not sure. I feel like Lewis Abu Dhabi 2021. Ah, that's a good joke. That's a good joke, guys. Ah, love it. You know what, Scottish? Keep positive thoughts. Maybe the steps is gonna hold up everyone behind you, and then you can just run away with that race win. AWH has got a penalty anyway, so if he's gonna make it hard for everyone else, you might be still able to win this race, and it's only 4 more laps after the safety cars come into the pits. So you will be doing great. I'm not too sure how to fix this Wi-Fi issue. I'm a defend like Pastor Maldonado. I've got not a lot of F1 knowledge, if I'm being honest. Like previous F1 drivers, I don't. I started watching the sport. Also, I'm in Lewis' car as well, for fuck's sakes. I mean, at least you're gonna be getting a P2. Or what position did he actually end up with? Oh no, he got P2, he got P2. I thought he dropped that many positions. No, he got P2. Yeah. Ah, fair enough. At least you will be getting P2. And the Red Bull is nowhere close, as Jesper is all the way in P12. If Jesper still wins this Grand Prix, I'm buying everyone an ice cream. That's my promise to you. Not a Dublin ice cream, because every Dublin ice cream costs 4.5 euros per scoop, which is absolutely mental. And we're almost going to be racing again. AWH is looking great, but he's got that penalty. I think the guy who's got the biggest chance of winning is possibly the Steps, currently in P2. And also Tutsky, he's got the pace. Although he's going to be struggling with keeping Reigns behind him. Rain has just been so fast. I don't know how. Like, how are you able to keep up with Tutsky? He's been so fast too. Maldonado crashed in the majority of his races as he couldn't race. Ah, fair enough. So, Scottish thinks he's going to be crashing. I don't think he is. He needs to keep confident. He needs to believe in himself. I think that's one of the most important characteristics as an F1 driver. Keep yourself... Always think you're the best driver on the grid. Actually, they've done something like that in the F1 with Lando Norris, and they asked, do you think you're the best F1 driver on the grid? And he said yes, and it was actually true. Like, they did it with a lie detector. Ooh, Shermanator. What is happening here? Dino, give gas. Although Shermanator is going around the outside, I don't think he is allowed to do so. We're going to be having green flags and go, go, go. We've got an Aston Martin in the middle of the pack. That is going to be AP. And the Steps quite far behind. Look at that gap from Steps to Scottish right there. A 1.3 second gap. And I think that Steps hurt me. He's going to leave some space to his teammate and try to keep everyone else behind him. He's the first driver to keep behind is obviously AWH. Then we've got Tutsky, who I said was going to be troubles. Together with what am I saying, guys? Together with Rain here, as Rain is going to be making it very difficult for Tutsky to make any moves in the future, as Tutsky will have his hands full keeping the Alfa Romeo behind. Obviously, Waza making a move on back marker right there. They're having a heated battle going into turn 7 right now, into turn 8. And are they going to be leaving enough space for each other? 2/10 for a back marker as he's trying to go around the outside. He's not going for it. And I think the inside line through that corner through turn 8 is the best way to go. Another 3-second time penalty for Exotic Scarf right there. A 110 gap from Rain to Tutsky as he's trying to go down the inside. He's not going for it though. Into turn 13 and 14. 15 they go right now. And he's trying to make that move. It's not working. Has a good exit coming out of that corner, though. Here he comes. Straight line speed for Rain as he clipped the back of that Ferrari driver a little bit there. Lost some straight line speed. Goes back into the slipstream. And he's got a good run. It's not using all of his ERS. Beautifully done by Rain right there. As he's having the inside line right now. Tutsky is going to try and make the switchback work. Does he have a good exit? Doesn't look like it. Dino now trying to make a move on the Ferrari driver. As Tutsky got overtaken by Rain, really easy right there. The Steps on those soft tires. He made the overtake on his teammate, and now it's going to be Scottish time to keep AWH right behind him. Rain getting another 3-second time penalty. Tutsky is Mr. Consistent himself once again, not getting a single penalty here, as he's the only driver in the top 6, together with the Steps not having a penalty. As it seems like Smith is making a move down the inside, around the outside right now, having the inside line again. And yeah, those medium tires off Scottish are not keeping up with the soft tire runner. He's going down the inside right now. Is he having enough space? It doesn't look like it. And he has to let the AlphaTauri driver go through. Very unfortunate. But Rain, I mean, he's having the pace. He's going to be making that move on the Mercedes driver in a couple of corners. There goes Rain. He was looking for it already into turn 12. And he's sliding a little bit through turn 12 right there, but he's making up that position fairly easy. As he also has that penalty though. Tutsky now on the tail of Scottish. He's going a little bit wide. He has to watch out for that track limit. And I think he might be able to get a P2 here if he can keep up with the top 4. Obviously, if it doesn't catch a penalty here. And all the other guys on the grid are fairly close to each other. Where is Chicken and Blunts right now? He's 1.3 seconds behind Shermanator. He's getting pressured from behind by Exotic Scarf. Exotic Scarf coming into the pits, almost crashing into the wall right there. Not too sure what happened. Yo, 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 NRT Mark, how are you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a fine evening. Rain right now, down the main straight. He's not gonna have the DRS, is he? Is he going into Eau Rouge Radion? Any chance you have an invite? The link isn't working. Yes, I do. To the league, right? Yes, I do. Hold up. I will send you in a second. I will open up the Discord. Here comes Scottish on the tail of Rain. As it seems like Dusky Beard is still trying to get past that Mercedes driver. It's not 100% working. And let's go on board with the back marker right now. Making a move down the inside of Waza. And Waza has to yield. He's not able to keep that position. Although Waza not being one of the faster drivers here of this grid. And I'm trying to get a link to the Discord real quick. For the guys in the chat. There we go. Screen is lagging again. AWH left the session. He crashed out. What did we miss? Oh no. AWH Smith crashed out and he left the session already. Oh, no way. Dino right now making the move. Well, not really. He's 1.1 seconds behind. And Tutsky is now looking very, 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 very great. Going into that P2 position if he can. Down the main straight he goes. DRS wide open. He doesn't have much ERS saved. We're heading into the last lap of this race. And Steps is looking very, very great. No penalty. And he's got those fresh, soft tires too. We've got a very competitive grid here. Chicken and Blunts caught up to Shermanator. And he's gonna have the DRS down the main straight, down the camel straight, going into Eau Rouge Radion right now. Ooh, 7/10s behind. I think he lacks a little bit of slips, a little bit of pace coming through the corners. Dusky making up his position up into P3. He's gonna get that P2 position anyway if he doesn't catch a penalty. Now let's go on board with Chicken around the outside. Look at that move. Not too much space given by the Williams driver, but he doesn't get the position. The Williams driver going too wide. I think Chicken has a good run. Around the outside right now. He's spinning out the Williams driver. He has to watch out. Shermanator not leaving too much space. Chicken around the outside. Side by side they go into turn 9. Chicken trying to make a switchback work. Shermanator going a little bit too wide, but he didn't lose too many time doing that. Into Pujol right now. Oh, and he spins out the Williams driver. There goes Chicken. He went too fast into Pujol. And I think that Shermanator kind of broke going into that corner, if I'm not mistaken. Scottish dropped back from P1 to P4. Not bad at all. Maybe Dino is still trying to make that overtake. Oh yeah, he doesn't have a penalty either way, so he's gonna get that position anyway. Waza trying to make a move on a back marker right now. Down the main straight they go. Well, not really a main straight. It's not really a main straight. It's like a corner section, but also not a corner section because you can go through that corner section full throttle. Waza trying to make a move down the inside. Back marker who's defending beautifully. Waza with the move, and he almost crashes out back marker. Back marker forcing Waza a little bit too wide there. And back marker takes the position. Waza drops back. Another position to his teammate. And another position to Jesper, who gets P7 here. Yeah, the tire difference was nuts. I get that. Scottish, he still managed to get P5, which is not bad at all. Currently at the back of the grid, we're seeing Chicken and Blunts getting dropped back to P11 as he comes into the pits. He finishes the race in P11 in the pit lane. Quite funny. Blue and Dark currently in P14, and then we've got AP coming across the line in P15. That was going to be your Belgian Grand Prix. Blue and Dark is the last one to come across the line. What a race this has been. Let's go to the results real quick. Driver of the day is going to be Tutsky. Well deserved, Mr. Ferrari. What a race this has been, indeed. And the Czech driver is going to be in P1. The new driver actually is. He just joined the league an hour or two ago. And he is also having the fastest lap of the race, a 144.4. We've got Tusky in P2 and Dino in P3. The top three doesn't have a single penalty, so that means that consistency is key rather than pace is key. Rain in P4 and Scottish in P5. Further, we've got Backmarker, Jesper, Shermanator, Waza, Exotic Scarf, Chicken and Blunts, Oranje Boom Ishi, Blue Dark, AP, AWH, Younes, Tok, Mookie, and then a Joby. We've got 6 DNFs, 5 DNFs. I think we've got 5 DNFs and then AP, but he didn't really finish the race. Looked a very interesting race. It was a very interesting race, but the race with a lot of incidents too, I think. Like a lot of small incidents, and I think there's going to be a few reports, but I'm not too sure if there's actually going to be reports because it's a social race. So, yeah. I think that is my night done, guys. So I thank you very much for listening. I hope it was an entertaining race, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be there with, well, obviously if the owners still decide to have me, but I will be there back again during the first race of the season. I'm not too sure when the first race is actually going underway. Let me have a quick look in the Discord. Calendar. The first race is on the 2nd of January, so I won't be there on the 2nd of January. I won't be there. I will be there on the 9th of January, and I will be there on the 16th of January. So hopefully I'm going to be there on the 16th of January. I should be there on the 23rd. I should be there on the 30th, and I should be there on the 6th. So I will keep you guys up to date. But guys, this was my evening for tonight. I will see you guys back in season 1 when the actual season is starting. This was Phoebe Thomas as your commentator. Guys, thank you very much, and peace out.